second strategy I have for you is content curation and aggregation. So customers today in the digital space want information, but they want it when they want it, how they want it. Otherwise, it becomes what? Spam. Spam. I'll give you a great example of this. So if tonight I told you what's the best place to go to Vegas and have dinner, would you guys appreciate that recommendation? Would be useful because you're at the conference and you'd like to figure out where to go get a good bite to eat? Yeah. What if you went home and then I gave you that? Would it still be useful? No, all of a sudden it drops in relevance because it's not part of your context anymore. So the old paradigm was create a lot of content, but if you can learn how to curate content, that's powerful too. If you can take the best of, if you can be the go-to source for your customers, for the best information in your industry, for the best things they're looking for, that's really powerful. How many are familiar with Pinterest? Okay. Pinterest is a social networking site. It's grown very fast. I mean, in very simple terms, all it does is allow people to pin images. It's really not novel, but why has it grown, so dramatically fast? What's the secret behind Pinterest? And the idea is it's content curation. Because now, I don't have to go looking at every web page on the internet. I can just look at what my friends are sharing, right? I can go look at boards. It helps curate information. That's why Pinterest is so powerful. It's a great strategy for any company to utilize to say, how can we curate and aggregate information in a way that's relevant and within context so our customers turn to us as the go-to source for things? Upworthy. How many people are familiar with Upworthy? Upworthy is great because I love this about them is they don't create any original content. Right? Upworthy takes content, videos, specifically positive videos that are out there on the web. They give them really creative headlines. And they're one of the fastest growing media companies on the web right now. All because they're able to curate information in a way that's smart and relatable to their audience. This is really my favorite. So for those who are, especially in the B2B world, or if you're in an industry that you think is boring, this is a great example because I can't think of anything more mundane than clickers. Can you? Anything more mundane, right? So this is a company that actually sold or sells clickers. And their audience is educational buyers, so buyers in school districts and so forth who have to make purchase orders. So they went to a conference, they went to a trade show very similar to this one, and they're a smaller company, they had a smaller booth, they said, what can we really do? And they decided to create a clicker museum online, and they had a few samples there, but they called it the Museum of Clicker Curiosities. And what they did was they realized that their audience, obviously, it's a niche audience, they're into clickers. They decided to go back to the 70s and 80s and 60s when clickers were big as this podium right here. And they created this, and they sort of had were very creative with it, played with it, and said, this is the Museum of Clicker Monstrosities. So you saw sort of how technology evolved. It was really neat. People were so interested. They came because they had sort of this lab-like setup. And it was the most popular little booth in the entire trade show. They said they had over 5,000 visitors to their site based on that. And they were competing with some really big brand names. So a lot of these strategies I'm sharing with you, they're not limited if you see a lot of people say, oh, my industry is boring, or we're really niche, or we're B2B, or whatever it is. But it's really not about reaching the broadest audience possible. It's reaching the right audience. It's reaching the right audience with the right message at the right time. And that's what makes digital selling successful.